I'm here recording. I have got my red jersey, my red mug, my red nails. It's the season of love. We want the candy and the chocolate and the romance, and we want them to look at us some type of way with soft music playing in the background. And I'm gonna be talking about, you know, what to do before you're in a relationship, when you're in a relationship, when the relationship doesn't work out, and then I forget what the last one is gonna be. This apple cider smells good, so good. Delish. I need to check if I've got, do I have a white line on my lips, you guys? I don't know. I don't want to be in this video looking like a fool. Let's make a video talking about love and romance and all of that good things before the relationship comes out. What can you be doing when you're... Thank you so much for watching this video. Happy Valentine's Day, or at least I'm recording this on Valentine's Day, so I'm gonna say happy Valentine's Day. Hopefully I will have this video uploaded. If not on Valentine's Day, then, you know, day or two after Valentine's Day, and if that is the case, happy post-Valentine's Day. I'm here recording. I have got my red jersey, my red mug, my red nails. It's the season of love and happiness and joy and all of that good stuff. This apple cider smells so good, so good. Delish. But yeah, so I'm here for this video for Valentine's Day. And I thought to myself, you know, yes, let's make a video talking about love and romance and all of that good things. And that kind of morphed into my mind in making a kind of little mini series talking about relationships and love and romance and all of that good stuff, right? So for the next couple weeks, not for the next 4 weeks, I lie, for the next 4 videos, I will be talking about relationships and love and romance and all of that stuff. So we're kind of gonna, you know, break this thing down, talking a bit about romance and love. And so I figured, talking about relationships and Valentine's Day, I thought to myself, okay, let me make a video talking about relationships and how to get ready to be in a relationship. And then you'll see there's kind of going to be a theme, there's going to be a thought process in these videos. I'm going to be talking about, you know, what to do before you're in a relationship, when you're in a relationship, when the relationship doesn't work out, and then I forget what the last one is going to be. But yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about that. So I'm super excited for this mini series that I'm doing. And so we're going to do this very first one, and as you've seen from the title of the video, I've called it In the Waiting, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to write a blog about this, which will, I don't want to say be more in depth, but will just, you know, be along the same line of talking about relationships and romance and stuff like that. Because, you know, I think for us as women, relationships mean a lot to us. We want the love, we want the candy and the chocolate and the romance, and we want them to look at us some type of way with soft music playing in the background and white pigeons flying. I don't know, you know, we want the romance and all of that good stuff. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Like, by all means, do you, be you, you know, you want what you want, and that's cool. But yeah, I think in the real world, how love and relationships and how romance works is kind of different from what we see in the movies, right? A lot different from what we see in the movies. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Talk about relationships, love, and romance. And yeah, break that down. I'm sorry, I need to check if I've got, do I have a white line on my lips, you guys? I don't know. I don't want to be in this video looking like a fool. I know it's gross, you can judge me. Listen, I have kids, I've had all manner of body fluids land on me, so, you know, whatever. Making the lips look presentable on camera. So yeah, anyways, talking about love, relationships, romance, and all of that good stuff. So let's dive right into the topic of this video. Let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right into the topic of this video, which is basically in the waiting. How to wait. Before the relationship comes out, what can you be doing when you're waiting on the one? You know what I mean? So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video, when you're in the waiting. And so I'm going to be sharing with you guys from my story, because that's kind of like my point of reference, right? My story and what I've observed. And so hitting right into that, sorry, I've got myself on a timer here. So diving right into that, talking about the one and waiting on the one, you know, one thing I do want to say, if you are single currently and if you've been single for a long time, like my story is, I was basically that girl who never dated, never got asked out, never had any boy with romantic intention come knocking at my door. Like, I think if you've been around the channel for a while, if you've checked out my blog, you know that that's my story. And I can leave you guys, you know, some links to some blog posts that I've written that just share a bit more about my story with regards to love and feeling like I wasn't beautiful enough and all that jazz. But as I got older, you know, I came to realize that, you know, it's not all about my looks, and, you know, and it's okay if I haven't dated for a while. Listen, can I be real honest with you and say it's super okay in this day and age if you have not dated. It's okay if you have not been kissed. It's okay if you, and you know, not being kissed, because it's kind of like, it's cute when it's like, oh, sweet 16, you've never been kissed or whatever, but then when you're like sweet 22, you still ain't got a man, girl, you fine. You know, those things happen. But it's okay if you have not dated, if you have not even been kissed, if you have not been in a relationship, if you're still a virgin, it's okay. You do not need to be ashamed and embarrassed about that. And I, for one, think that it can only make the relationship better, because, you know, when you do find that special guy that you've been holding out for to kiss and to hold and to sleep with, it's so beautiful, especially sex when you're married. It's amazing. It's worth the wait. And this is coming from someone who was a virgin when they got married. It is so worth the wait. And talking about waiting, before we get to that all-important honeymoon night when you're getting it on, you know, or whatever, I might edit that out of the video. But when you're waiting for that honeymoon night, you know, that night that you've been waiting for, Prince Charming has come into your life, swept you off your feet, and you guys have sailed off into the sunset to live happily ever after. Some practical things that I think can help you wait well is, number one, like I said, it's so super okay for you to feel like you are not the most experienced, or the, you know, you've been waiting on a relationship for so long and whatever. It is actually really super okay. And I think you need to be comfortable in that. You don't need to feel pressured that now, like, flip, I've got to find a boyfriend, I've got to sleep with someone, I've got to this, I've got to that. No, you do not. It is okay to wait. Listen, the wait is sexy. Okay, the wait is so super sexy. And I'll share with you guys a very real personal story for me and my husband. We did wait until we got married to sleep together. We were both virgins when we got married. And one of the things that my husband values so much today is the fact that his wedding band is my, I don't want to call it a promise ring or a chastity ring, okay? Because especially if you've been around Christian circles for a while, you will inevitably have gone to a church camp or a youth meeting or something where they speak to you about how having sex before marriage is bad. And they usually give this some kind of graphic illusion or illustration to kind of drive the point home. I know one of the popular ones was like, they'll take a blue piece of paper and a pink piece of paper and put glue on the one, and you stick it together, and that's what happens when you sleep with someone. The two pieces of paper become one. But then when you break up, you know, to try separate the two, like, obviously the papers will tear, and some blue will be on the pink and some pink will be on the blue, and it will kind of use that as an illustration to say, you know, when you get married, you won't really be complete or whatever. And being a good Jesus girl that I was, I watched the illustrations, I got the gist of the message. But if I'm frankly honest with you, my decision not to sleep with anyone until I was married, I made that in my 20s. And this is coming from a girl who was churched. That decision I made in my 20s because I felt that it wasn't anymore about all the illustrations being driven home. It was my decision to live my life in such a way that I believe would please my God. And that was a very personal decision for me that I made. And so in starting this video and saying that, I just want to say that yes, it's okay if you have not been kissed, you have not this, you have not that, you've not done all of these things. It is okay. You don't need to feel pressure about that. You can accept that this is what you're doing, and other people might not agree with you. Other people might want to do things their own way, and that's their decision. But I just want you to know that it's okay, and you don't need to feel that pressure to be experienced. It's totally okay. It's your decision if you decide that you don't want to, you know, sleep around or whatever. And I support you in that. And coming back to my personal story with my husband, it was a beautiful thing to be able to give each other to each other like that for the first time, with like no previous experience. It was great to know that I'm the one who knows my husband in this way, and I'm the only person who knows him in this way, and he's the only person who knows me in a sexual way. So, you know, there's no pressure at all. You don't need to feel any kind of pressure. And so for me, like I said, having grown up churched and hearing all of these things, I made that decision personally, as not as a promise so that people can see me make this promise, but it was like, God, I want to live for you and I want to honor you with my sexuality, and so I will choose to stay a virgin until I'm married. And the sign between you, God, and me is that I will wear a thumb ring. I used to wear this thumb ring. I bought myself a very beautiful silver band ring with a gold band on top and on the bottom attached to this one ring, and I was like, and this is what I will wear, just as a promise between you, God, and me, that I will wear my band, just as it's just between you, me, God, it's personal. So I used to wear a thumb ring a lot, and I was like, and the day that I get married, I'll give my husband that, just symbolically, to be like, hey, I've waited for you, and I made God a promise that this is what I would do, and so I'm giving this ring to you, right? And that's what I did. And so when my husband and I were dating and we got engaged, I was like, listen, this ring is going to be for you when we get married. And so he was like, oh, let me see, let me try it on. And it would just so happen that it was the perfect fit for his ring finger. And he's like, I don't want any other ring, I want that ring. And it was really special, you know, that we had that connection. So my wedding band is my husband's, my husband's wedding band is what used to be my thumb ring. And so just a quick side note that I do want to say too is it is a very personal choice if someone decides to be celibate before they get married, if they don't want to sleep with someone or whatever. And I think, you know, people could call you old-fashioned or whatever, but the truth is it's really none of your business to comment on someone's sexuality and what they choose to do or not do beforehand, especially when it comes to wanting to stay a virgin. Let's start virgin shaming people. Can we have that? Like hashtag no virgin shaming. Can we have that? Like, it's okay, it's cool, it's sexy, it is awesome to wait to still be a virgin when you're married, right? So I think that's cool. And if you don't agree with me, you're entitled to your opinion. I just disagree with you, but it's cool. We can still be friends. You can still keep watching the video, because we're talking about how to wait well. And so I've said, you know, waiting to have sex, waiting until you're married, and you might be like, okay, well, that doesn't apply, you know. Well, let me still give you what I think are some practical things that you can still do while you're waiting for a relationship and hopefully for the one, right? I think one of the things that you can do while you're waiting for the one, you can totally work on yourself as a person. And this is really the meat of the video too that I want to dive into here. I think while you're waiting for the one, while you're waiting for a man, it is so okay for you to take some time out to work on yourself. And in fact, I think it is crucial for you to take that time out to work on yourself. And here is why. There's two reasons. Number one, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You are the most important asset that you bring into a relationship. Like, it's not your money, it's not even your time, it's not your beliefs, it is you and the person that you come into the relationship as, which includes your baggage, it includes your issues, your whatever. You bring that into a relationship. So if you know for a fact that there are areas in your life that you need to deal with and address, there are weaknesses that you need to strengthen, there are character traits that you need to, you know, step down from and walk away from and not have those be a part of your life anymore, work on those things, because you are the most important asset you will ever bring into a relationship. Honestly, you're the most important asset. Relationships make it or break it, not because there's not enough money, there's not enough time, there's not enough sex. Those things can contribute, but ultimately character. Character is a reason why someone will either stick with you or walk away from you. Character. And you need to take the time to work on your character, to build that up, to be someone who is quick to accept when, you know, they've made a mistake, to ask for forgiveness, to apologize, to be quick to forgive, to love, to be patient. Working on your character makes or breaks a relationship. And the issues that you have within yourself, within your person, if you don't take the time to deal with those issues, you will bring them into the relationship, and you could seriously harm what could end up being a beautiful thing. So while you're in the waiting, take the time to work on yourself. What are some of the issues that you need to deal with? Is there someone that you need to forgive them? Is there counseling that you need to have because you know you experienced a certain kind of trauma? Go for that counseling. Do whatever it takes for you to be working on yourself, so that when you enter into a relationship, you're a more self-aware person and you have more good to offer than bad, hopefully, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying work to make yourself perfect so that when you get into a relationship you're perfect. Listen, perfection does not exist on this side of eternity. You will never finish dealing with your issues, with your baggage, with all of that stuff, and some things will only be revealed to you when you're in a relationship. But for the things that you know are an issue in your life, definitely do deal with those. You know, take the time to work, to deal, to heal, you know, from those things. Definitely take that time. So that's the one thing with regards to relationship, is that you're the most important asset that you bring into a relationship. And the second thing, take the time to think a bit about relationships and what you want out of a relationship. Now, here's what I am not saying, okay? What we're not gonna do is, you know, there's this thing of write up a list of what your perfect man will be. Listen, that list situation, toss it, okay? Toss it. I hate the list mentality, because here's the thing. I think it teaches you to look for a specific thing instead of and it teaches you to look for a specific thing that's not necessarily the most important thing. Like, you'll be like, oh, okay, I want a man with a six-pack and this. Okay, that's cool. If you want a guy with a six-pack, okay, that's cool. Do you, I guess. But I think for me, more so than the physical stuff, there are other, again, character things that we need to be looking for that are more likely to make or break the relationship. Now listen, I'm not knocking that you have a physical preference, okay? We all do. Some people want tall, dark, and handsome. Some people want blonde hair, blue eyes. I'm not knocking that you have a personal preference. What I'm saying is just don't let that personal preference potentially hold you back from experiencing something that could be really good and beautiful for you, but that might not come in the package that you want. Again, I'll share with you from my story, and again, not because I'm perfect, but just because I'm sharing from my experience, because that's what I know. I wanted a guy who would be loving, who would be patient, who would be kind, a man who I could respect. Now, especially loving, patient, and kind. I grew up in the kind of home where we didn't really like hug each other or say I love you or whatever. Like, we just didn't. We had our own way of showing that kind of affection and stuff, but like no one in my family ever said I love you. Like, and I'm not knocking my family, that's just how we were. But for me, I was like, I want to raise my kids in a home where they hear the words I love you. I want to say that to my spouse daily, all the time. Hey babe, I love you, you know. And so I wanted someone who wouldn't be weirded out by that, you know. And men might be, because, you know, we're supposed to be men, whatever. But I wanted someone who had that softness in them, who wasn't afraid to, you know, they could still be a man, but, you know, still have feelings and not be afraid to show that, you know. I wanted a man who I could respect, and a man who was kind of a bit calmer, because I'm a hothead, okay? I say what I think what I say. I said what I said, and I'm sticking by it. You know, I am that kind of person. I am off my rocker. I may look sane in these YouTube videos, but that's a lie. I'm crazy. You know. But I found a man who not only accepts my crazy, he loves my crazy, but he tempers my crazy, okay? There's times when I am ready to, you know, storm the castle, and he's like, okay, let's just bring it back. Let's just take a minute, okay? Let's just chill, you know? And so I wanted that. And then in terms of physical preference, I kind of did, and I didn't have a thing. One thing that I did know is that I wanted a guy who was taller than me, and that was like, I almost want to say non-negotiable, because I love high heel shoes. And I didn't want to have to give up high heel shoes. And when I was still young and single and whatever, I used to wear stilettos a lot, and I was like, I cannot give up my stilettos. I love these things far too much. So I need a man who I can still wear my stilettos around, right? But here's the thing. So going back to the character things that I wanted in a guy, I got those in my husband. And I feel like if I were to restrict myself to, oh no, I only want tall, dark, and handsome, but I also want, you know, calm, respectable, will step up to the plate of being the man, being the leader of the home. Those character things don't come in the exclusive package of tall, dark, and handsome. They come in any man. And if you have those character things, it almost doesn't matter what the man looks like. If you're attracted to him and you love him, girl, get you. Like, it doesn't matter if he's white, black, green, blue, yellow, maroon, whatever, you know. It doesn't matter if he's tall, you know, as long as you find a guy who character wise the two of you can work with. And then the other reason why I don't like the list thing is because I think, you know, you can get carried away with everything you want in a guy, you know, and he must be this and he must be that. He must be a prayer warrior, read his Bible every day, walk closely with the Lord, and he must be able to speak in tongues, no ancient Aramaic, and he must be able to speak 3 different languages, and he must be financially secure. And okay, wow. You know, you're asking for a lot. And I'm not saying don't have standards, because here's the thing, standards are yours, okay? What I'm saying is be realistic in what you're asking for. And I think a good way for you to be realistic with what you're asking for is ask yourself, can I measure up to what I'm asking for? Because that can help you realize how realistic you're being or how over the top and ridiculous you're being, okay? Because you want a guy who, you know, he's reading his Bible every day, praying every day. Okay, are you reading your Bible and praying every day? Because here's the thing. You have no right to demand of someone else what you're not willing to be. That's not fair. If you want a certain thing, then be prepared to be that thing yourself, you know, because the two of you have got to be a mix. You want him to be something that you're not. That's not real fair, sis. That's not real fair. So be prepared to be what you're asking for in a relationship. And if some things are far out there that you're realizing that, okay, maybe I'm over the top, bring it back and try to be those things, and give grace to someone if they're not those things, and still seek to find the good in them. Right? So those are some practical things that I think that you can do while you're in the waiting, while you're waiting for the guy. And let me just tell you that while you're in the waiting, I'm not going to promise you that you're going to find the one, but what I will tell you is that if you do find the one, he will have been worth the wait. So hang in there. The wait is sexy. Wait well, wait with focus, wait with intention, and enjoy the time of being single and stuff. You know, my family is about to walk in the door, and I remember there were times when I was like, will I ever get married? And you know, yeah, now that I'm married, there's times where I'm like, wow, this house is bananas, right? But you know, it was worth the wait to be in the season. And so that's just what I want to finish off this video with saying to you, is that the wait is sexy, the wait is worth it. So hang in there and wait well. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like the video, thumbs up the video. If you like the channel, subscribe. And if you're subscribed, hit the notification icon so that you know every single time I upload a video. That's my family walking through the door. I'm Rachel Baskin, and I'm out. Catch you guys in the next video, guys. Bye.